Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace, and I was looking something up today, and I ran across. It's about people who I ran across it online. The AI overview, and it's about people who do things that are just. I would think most people would find it morally wrong, just plain wrong. But first, I wanted to look up. After that, I looked up opportunistic person, and then I want to talk about that, what the AI said about that, and then lead to this one about being really morally wrong, and on so many, not just morally, it's just wrong. But and they do that for personal gain, whether it's online or not, okay, or both. But anyway, let me start with this one. The opportunistic person. The AI overview says an opportunistic person is someone who seizes opportunities for personal gain, there it is, often without regard for ethical or moral considerations, and is willing to exploit situations to their advantage. They prioritize personal benefit over principles or the well-being of others. Okay, and it goes on. It says here's a more detailed breakdown. Definition: an opportunist is a person who takes advantage of every chance for success or to gain an advantage, often without considering the consequences for others. Very focused on themselves, huh? Okay, characteristics: self-serving. Well, here we go. They prioritize their own interest above all else. It's all about them. Exploitative: they may take advantage of situations or people to achieve their goals. Okay, adaptable: they are able to adjust their behavior or actions to fit whatever circumstances will benefit them. Okay. Unprincipled: they may not be bound by moral or ethical considerations when seeking an advantage. They just don't. Okay. If it's gonna stand in their way of making their goal for money, or it's not always just money, but screw it. That's how they see it. They don't have to have that. It says examples: a thief who steals from an unlocked car, a politician who uses their position to enrich themselves, a business owner who takes advantage of a weak market. Okay, it says synonyms. I had never heard these before. I don't think I've ever even heard any of these words before. The synonyms. This one, yeah, schemer. Okay, schemer, yeah, I've heard. Chancer, don't know about that. Trimmer, huh? This one I am really certain I've never heard before. Weathercock, and then the other one, time server. Never heard those before. But anyway, the one that I looked up from there, it seems to more point out when it's more like the leaders. Many of these I look up, it's going to talk about the big groups, not just like individuals you run across on the street, just somebody in your community, somebody online putting up a video or putting up a blog or a vlog, either way. But those can be considered, some do it, okay? Whether they're online or offline. Okay, and what I found originally, there was one other, and then it led me to this one. And it's called spiritual opportunism. Okay, it says it involves using or manipulating religious or spiritual ideas, practices, or communities for personal gain. Okay, advantage or selfish motives, often without genuine spiritual commitment. Now, what I was trying to look up was when people use religious, or spiritual ideas, how do I put it? Not against it. It didn't involve like any religious communities or any religious leaders. It just involves, like I was just saying, it involves more of they're using that to draw people into them. They use religion to draw people into them. But they are not a religious leader themselves either. You see? Well, and to go on here, it does kind of say this. It says it can manifest in various ways, such as exploiting religious authority, leveraging religious belief systems for personal benefits, or using spirituality for manipulation and control. That last one is really where I'm focusing. Using spirituality for manipulation and control. Okay, here's a more detailed look at spiritual opportunism. I'm just reading here. Key characteristics, and the AI overview says, exploitation of spiritual ideas. This includes using religious teachings, rituals, or symbols to achieve personal goals, such as accumulating wealth, gain, power, or manipulating others. Somebody's going to, drag out their Bible or their some kind of religious text. It's a Christianity. I don't even know of Christianity, so I don't know enough about other ones. So I just use Christianity. They use the Bible or something, or anything, any symbols, any music. You could say songs, hymns, whatever they can find to accumulate wealth, like it says, gain power, or manipulate others. I always say these, usually when it says or, I'm thinking and or. So, anyway, self-serving motives. The primary focus is on personal benefits rather than genuine spiritual growth or service to others. Okay, so they may say that they're doing this for their audience, or their followers, but they're really just saying, hey, I'm going to make money off this. You see? Something along this line. Let's see, where's next? Lack of genuine commitment. The individual's involvement in spirituality may be superficial or transactional, lacking a deep sense of faith or belief. Manipulation and control. Spiritual opportunists may use their perceived spiritual authority or knowledge to control or dominate others. It's a very important sentence there. Okay, that says examples of spiritual opportunism. Religious leaders, many of them go to the big group, or like religious leaders, using their positions for personal gain. This could include financial exploitation, abuse of power, or using religious authority to gain social influence. Individuals exploiting religious belief systems for personal advantage. This might involve manipulating others with religious rhetoric to extract resources or control. Okay, using spirituality to justify unethical behavior. For example, claiming that certain actions are divinely sanctioned or necessary for a higher purpose even when they are harmful. Let's see. Consequences of spiritual opportunism. Erosion of trust. When individuals see religious leaders or communities exploiting spiritual ideas, it can lead to skepticism and distrust in religious institutions. And if that can happen if it's just somebody they had, like an influencer, one person, or somebody they admired, that it's not about religion. But they say something about Christianity that is wrong, negative, or something. And you got it. Erosion is not always just of trust. Harm to individuals. Okay, we'll move on. Harm to individuals. Manipulation and exploitation can cause significant emotional and psychological harm to those who are targeted by spiritual opportunists. Yeah. Damage to the reputation of spirituality. The actions of spiritual opportunists can make it difficult for individuals to view spirituality as a genuine and positive force. These are all what's sad about this, is when people do that and they don't care. Their view is, if it makes me money, that's my business. It's none of yours. And I'm going to do whatever it takes for me to make some money. And that's their view. And they're using Christianity. And the people who are watching it are like, that's what Christianity is about? You see what I'm saying? So, anyway, it goes on. There's a deep dive. Or it says dive deeper into AI mode, but I think that's enough for right now. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Talk to you on another video. Bye.